What was a loophole that you found and exploited the hell out of? Back in college we found a loophole with coupons at Kroger for General Mills cereal. If you bought 4 boxes of cereal, each box was $1. But if you did the self-checkout, you would be printed out a coupon for $4 off your next purchase. We used the loophole to buy about 300 boxes of cereal. We only spent $12 on all of it. We would have spent less, but we had to go to another Kroger once the manager got wind of us. We kept around 20 boxes for ourselves and donated the rest to the local food bank. They were so excited when we showed up with 3 vehicles full of cereal. Totally worth the $12 and all the time it took. I worked in a call center during college. Our main performance measure was the number of donations solicited per contact. If the person didn't answer or hung up immediately, it didn't count against you. I discovered a bug where, if I blew into the microphone, just as the phone started to ring, it would register in the computer system as a no answer and dial the next number. I rode this out for several months before I got tired of blowing my microphone for 8 hours a day and quit. Bought a shitty Sega Genesis game. I think it was some flight sim, which was the crappiest game I ever played. So I took it back to Kmart and got told no refunds for opened games. Replacement for the same one if broken. Annoyed that I couldn't get my money back, I said it was broken and went for the replacement. They handed me a new copy of the game and my original receipt. Left and came back an hour later. I want a refund for this game. Here is my receipt and unopened game. Got my money back, went and bought a different shit Genesis game. In elementary school we had the accelerated reading program. You would read a book, take a test on the computer, and be awarded points based on how well you did. At the end of the year you could buy things at the bookstore with the points you accumulated. I had just finished reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and got a perfect score on the test. The computer was only supposed to allow you to take the test once, but I figured out you could take that specific Harry Potter book unlimited times. I racked up so many points and was never found out. I was once the only person to show up to a Microsoft CRM event. Since I was the only person to attend, I automatically won the door prize of Xbox 360 with the Kinect. The downside of this loophole was 3 long hours of talking with manuscript product evangelists who were very disheartened and desperate to make a sale. Last summer, I went up to northern Michigan with a buddy of mine. He's got a nice summer cabin in a small town called Escoda. It's a nice little place with beautiful lake beaches and other fun outdoorsy stuff, if that's your thing, but there's not an awful lot to do up there otherwise. We walked from his cabin into the town and walked into a closing Kmart. I walked over to the electronics aisle, hoping to find some bargains on video games. Unfortunately, they only had one shitty game, Party Squad for PS4, and they had an awful lot of copies. I checked the price. They were on clearance for $14, but were marked at an additional 90% off, bringing the price down to a measly $1.40 each. I did the sensible thing that anyone else would have done and bought 20 copies, even though I had no interest in ever playing any of them, nor did I own a PS4. Receipt for proof. After a weird look from the cashier, he removed the security labels from the games and sent me on my merry way with a bag full of sealed games I spent under $30 for. I brought them home with me and traded them into GameStop one by one every time I went, getting approximately $7 per copy in store credit. I traded in such a high volume of copies, I was banned from trading in games to GameStop. Fortunately, it's a system-issued temporary ban to prevent people from loading off stolen goods. I just traded in my last copy last weekend when they were doing a 50% bonus trading credit promotion and got $10 in store credit. I made something like $150 in store credit total off of $28 plus tax, and even though this pales in comparison to some of the other posts in this thread, I consider this a victory and it makes for a funny story to tell. At my local movie theater, you could get a small drink for $2.50 or a large drink for $3.50, and large gets unlimited refills. Or you could get a Sobe tea for $2.50. But they didn't give you the Sobe bottle because they wanted to avoid any broken glass incidents. So they poured the Sobe into the large cup. Boom. Unlimited large drink refills. I saved several dollars that way. By accident I found a gumball machine. If you turned the dial really slow it would drop the gumball, then you could dial it back just enough so the next gumball would drop into the tumbler bits, then slowly dial forward again until it drops, etc. Got about 20 of them and stopped when I realized that I really didn't want to chew that much cheap gum. In the 80s Chuck E. Cheese's didn't shred the tickets you get out of their games and used to buy toys, candy, etc. My friends and I were biking one day behind a strip mall practicing our wheelies and jumps. We saw a worker throwing a garbage bag of tickets into the dumpster behind Chuck E. Cheese. We grabbed it and then started circling back about once a week. Garbage bags and garbage bags full of tickets. We were doing so well, one of my friend's parents got in on it. She would take the minivan behind there and have her kids load up. And this is why tickets are now shredded. I think I still have a huge stockpile of frisbees and stuffed animals in my parents' attic somewhere. Around 5 years ago I used to work as a sales rep at a cell phone booth. Every new smartphone that would be released, the wireless provider would usually send us a demo unit of that phone with a demo line. The demo line would have unlimited talk, text, and data but would deactivate after 2 to 3 months. This was so we could show customers how the phone works with all of its features. One time we got a demo line that didn't expire after the 2 to 3 months. So my manager at the time told me to use it as my work line. I didn't want to carry 2 cell phones, so I cancelled my personal line and used my work line as my personal too. Fast forward 1 year later, my manager is transferred to another store and we get a new manager. New manager has no idea about my work/personal line. I left the company 6 months later with my demo line, and to this day I still use this demo line. Have not had a cell phone bill for over 5 years and counting. Bonus story, around 2 years my phone got stolen from my car, along with my laptop, hard drive, and tablet. I was utterly devastated, but more for losing my phone line than anything else. After moping around for a few days, I started to think of ideas of how I could possibly get the magical phone line back. I called and texted the phone line non-stop, offering money for just my SIM card back, but no response. I decided to try a different approach. I called my old store I used to work at, pretending to be a customer. I asked for my old manager, but I was told there was a new manager, and I got his full name. I called my carrier. Remembering the protocol from my working days, pretending to be the new store manager, and I gave them our authorization code, which I luckily still remembered. Told them one of our demo lines was on the fritz and needed to transfer onto a new SIM. They ask for the phone number of the demo line. I give them the number and they say it's some special line that I have to contact some special department for. They transfer me to special department. I tell special department dude about the situation and he's like he can definitely do the transfer, but only through email requests. So I have to send him an email request of the transfer through our store email. Screwed. Another dead end. So maybe the magical phone line is gone forever. Looks like I have to pay for a phone line like the rest of you peasants. But then I had a magical flashback to 5 to 6 years ago when I used to work at the wireless store. My then manager asked me to create a store email for our team to use for whatever use. I couldn't remember the password of that email, but I did remember I just made a regular Gmail account. So I made a new Gmail account for my old store and emailed the special department my phone line transfer request onto a new SIM card under the guise of that store's new manager. The line was transferred within 2 hours, and I got my magical phone line back. Was in a trivia bowl type competition in college. As soon as the announcer began asking the question you could buzz in and answer. If you got the question wrong you lost no points and the question was skipped. My team answered the first question correctly and proceed to mash the buzzer for the rest of the round, effectively blocking out all the other questions. We won the round with a final score of 1 point. They changed the rules before the next round. Close bracket. When vending machines first started accepting credit cards you could swipe your card, select a drink, and when the little drink pod starts moving to collect your drink hit cancel. The cancel button would stop the card transaction, but not the machine, so you could get free drinks. Was a sad day when it stopped working.